What is going on, guys? Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. That can only mean one thing. It is time for Comic News Weekly. Here we are, Tuesday, April 12th. We have some great topics to discuss in the show tonight. For the next hour, we're going to talk to you about that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 box office success. We're talking about a Devil's Due comic that just got optioned by MGM. It's going to be adapted. And we get James Tynan's take on the Sandman universe, as well as Hasbro just announced the pre-order for their Darth Vader Black Series, the Infinites, that white armor. I pre-ordered mine today. We're going to talk about all those in depth here in a little bit. But before we do, let's bring the panelists in. We're running 4 Horsemen deep tonight. That's right. From the Amazing with Brian McClay YouTube channel, we get Brian McClay.
What's up, brother? What's good?
Yeah, we always talk about it. Sometimes Tuesday, it's like the week is long as hell. And I'm not feeling the best, but always get pumped up for this show.
Yeah, amen, brother. Amen.
And we won't even call him a guest. He is now a regular on this show from that Rhinoverse Facebook group. We get Mr. Ryan Hayslip.
What's going on, guys? Just enjoying me some cotton candy here. When was the last time you had a big handful of cotton candy? That's too long.
Just watching you eat it makes my stomach hurt right now.
Making my teeth fall out right now.
You know what's good? They do that in Disney. I'm sure they do it at other places also. Is you get blue Powerade, putting cotton candy in it, and they call it like a magic trick, and they pour the Powerade in for the kids to drink, and then they just get hopped up on sugar for the rest of the night. And it just disappears and turns blue.
I'm gonna do that next time when we do here. I'm gonna have Powerade and leftover whatever is this.
Oh yeah.
There you go. It's hard.
And like I said, we're running 4 deep. We do have Mr. Button Pusher, Mr. Dad Joke, El Beardo, Hefe, Mr. Comic Man Andy.
What is good, everybody? Another fantastic Tuesday hitting us live. Man, running a little behind, just back home from dinner. And while we were there, the waiter walked up to me and said, "Sir, how would you like your steak?" I said, "Just like the arguments I win against my wife." He said, "Rare it is then."
Man, I am gonna play my drums and I want to sit behind my drums next time. I promise you.
Stick.
I am determined for next time. I'll be behind.
Cops doesn't start till 4. But yeah, we have some great topics to discuss. I mean, right now it's funny. My kids have been begging me to see it, but we had the stomach bug go through the house this weekend, but they still wanted to go see it. I told them no, not till you're feeling better. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 hit the movie theaters this weekend, and it was a box office success. $71 million domestically, if I can speak correctly. And it's also the second time that it beat out a superhero movie, given it both here superhero movies stunk. This time it's beat out Morbius. The first Sonic the Hedgehog beat out that Birds of Prey. Harley Quinn, long-ass title movie that sucked as well. But Sonic the Hedgehog, I will end up seeing this, and I'm sure my kids will be excited. I am personally excited for The Northman, but we got to get this one in before that. But I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. I know, Andy, you have young kids. I know, Ryan, you have young kids. Even if you don't have kids, I'm sure there's a lot of people seeing this. But also on the tail end of that, Sonic the Hedgehog comics are very niche. You don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but there's actually a lot of money tied up in some of these Sonic books. What are you guys' thoughts on comic books, the movie? Looks like there's going to be a third one from what I see, but I also heard Jim Carrey said he might be done with acting.
You think Jim Carrey's done with acting because he's so mad at Will Smith?
He's mad at Will Smith?
Yeah.
He was. He's always got something.
I think it's interesting that half the people I hear about this movie, they say Jim Carrey was amazing in it. The other half are like, he just needs to quit acting altogether. So like they're happy about him quitting. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I was a Sega kid, but I also was a Nintendo kid. I was lucky enough to have them both. And I'm never a big Sonic guy. I don't know why not.
Yeah, I used to play Sonic a bunch when I was younger. I was Mario Brothers, and then it was like Sonic was the Sega version of Mario Brothers. And I hadn't seen it in a long time. My wife actually likes Sonic. And then my kid, he has one of those, and he's only 2, but he has one of those Amazon tablets for kids, and it has it on there. And I heard that classic gling 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 gling. What is it? After someone's
Yeah.
I heard that little sound, and I was like, oh man, it brought back a lot of nostalgia. Now I saw most of the first movie, and I had heard that the second movie was coming out, but I didn't know it was up. But I was surprised to see how well it actually did. It really kicked some ass.
Yeah.
I mean, for a kids movie, for sure.
Yeah, me. I remember as a kid when the Genesis came out, it was over at my buddy's house playing Sonic and Altered Beast.
Altered Beast.
And I was just thinking about that. I mean, how relevant Sonic is today in today's youth, and how they're just getting introduced to it. And remember the big controversy when the first one and the trailer first came out, and everyone hated how they did Sonic, and they delayed the movie again until they got Sonic right. And
yeah, they didn't like his face and that he had teeth or something like that.
Yeah,
it didn't really look like the character. I mean, while we're discussing it, if you guys in the chat and you saw this movie, let us know your thoughts for sure. But Andy, you gonna see it? You can take your kids to it or no?
I totally forgot that this was even happening, and now that we're talking about it here tonight, I vaguely remember quite a long while ago, maybe one of the first few episodes of this show that we did on your channel, we mentioned that they were going back to a second movie, and oh cool, maybe take my son to see it. We grew up in a household that was all Nintendo at first until Sega hit. And we sidelined over to Sega, so we just had the NES and then went right to Sega. So I played a lot of Sonic. And I at first was really looking forward to the movie that came out, and I didn't know what to expect. This is one of those things where it's better back in your memories. Like, you ever have such a deep love for something, and then 25 years later, you're like, I need to revisit that. I loved it. And then you sit down and it's like, it's not the same, and it kind of crushes it for you. I had not watched the first movie because the first trailer that when they talked about changing the face of Sonic beforehand, and everybody hated that, and all I saw was drama, and I'm like, I don't want drama. This isn't going to pan out. I don't know what's going to happen. First movie did pretty well. Yeah. This movie coming back around, I think would get me into seeing the first movie and then seeing this one. But what's funny is they say this is, booms to 71 million for the weekend. The movie cost them 90 million, and so far globally they're only at. So I mean.
No, they globally, I think they doubled it.
So a movie that costs them 90 million and then doesn't make their money back on the first weekend, they're calling it boom.
No, they did. I think it made with the international dollars.
But here in the United States, it made less than what it cost them to do.
Correct.
So they're still calling this a boom, which is kind of surprising, like a play on words. Like 3 years ago, it would have been a flop. If it made less than what they spent on it in the first
pandemic, it's a boom. I mean, you're still trying to get people to the theater.
Yeah, that was the thing. I think the article was saying that it shows that families and kids and stuff like that are being okay going back, and it's starting to become more stronger in the theater. That people are starting out. This movie Ambulance, that I didn't know anything about Ambulance. I still don't know anything about that. And that's a Michael Bay film. And
that's the Jake Gyllenhaal, right? Look like Speed in an ambulance.
But Michael Bay. Is
that the one Michael Bay said the CGI sucked in?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then you did better than Morbius, and but the budget is crazy. I didn't know that how bigger the budget was on that versus like Ambulance and these other movies. You'd think that with CGI, you're not paying an actor, but it's actually so costly to make the CGI versus paying an actor to be able to actually do it. So
and you had Stringer Bell. Stringer Bell was in this movie. Well, Idris Elba. He's always Stringer Bell to me. But so there's a lot of voice talent in there, and I'm gonna end up taking my kids to see this. I'm sure they're on spring break this week. I don't know if we'll get there, but probably this weekend.
My oldest 2-year-old still not able to go see movies, so it's kind of a blessing. Kind of, I look forward to seeing movies with him, but
I look forward to it, man. But I like it when the wife goes because she could take a big ass purse so we can get some snacks beforehand. If not, I'm looking at $60 in refreshments.
I always stick stuff in my belt. I don't know.
It's like, oh, the tickets matinee. But I got 4 tickets for like $20, but I spent $60 in refreshments.
I get the same thing every time I go to the theater, though. So,
yeah,
I have the usual.
So it's funny, like Jake Gyllenhaal went from an ambulance chaser to being in an ambulance. What was that other movie he was in? That was actually really good though. I enjoyed it. Where he was
You saw Ambulance?
he was the ambulance chaser
Oh,
for the news to get sell freelance guy to sell news stories.
yeah, I remember that.
But anyways, yeah. Speaking about that, we talked about comics. Who I put a private link in the chat. There's one comic book right now that I've noticed looking at eBay. If you go down to where it says cover A, cover B, right on the above the cover there, scroll, click to the right, the little arrow to the right. And then click the white cover one. It's down in the middle, about the fifth over. Yeah, that cover right there was a Sega Shop exclusive, limited to 300 copies in 2020. And raw copies are selling on eBay right now for $1,300.
Holy
Ooh.
cow!
Who's the art on it?
So was it Josh Blake? I want to say.
Yeah, I don't think it matters with that little of a print run on a character like that.
Wow.
I was looking up some of the other books. I'm not a Sonic guy, so I'm just saying what research found. There's a Spencer's Sonic Tangle and Whisper #0 like polybag. Those are selling for about $379. That's another IDW. Also, the Sonic preview from Mean Machines is selling raw for $325. That was the Sega preview book that was straight from Sega. There's also the Sonic mini comic from Sega. Those are selling for raw about $225. And then there's also like a newsprint that are selling pretty high.
Wasn't there one in
Dan?
a He-Man one? Yeah.
Yeah. Then Archie also had it in 1993. The Sonic #1 Archie 9.8 just recently sold for $325. So there's a big drop off there. And then Sonic number 98, I guess, is popular because it's got the first shadow.
And that one's really starting to move right now.
Yeah. So, like I said, I don't hear a lot of people talking about Sonic comics in our circles, but there's some money in them. So it pays attention to. I know every now and then, like then the IDW does their convention exclusives on their site. If there's a Sonic one, sometimes I just pick it up if it's like $10, just stash it away. I don't know what I'm buying, but stash it away.
Yep.
But,
yeah, smart.
Cards.
anyways, speaking of comic book movies, before we go into that, I am glad to see video game movies do well. I think Sonic is a license all itself, but it's always good to see video games get adapted well. But we do have something else getting adapted, right? An indie comic from Devil's Due.
Yeah, so Marcy Sparks is being turned into a Marcy Sparks is for Laura Kassan. I'm destroying the last name. Laura Kay has been hired to adapt the female-driven comic book Marcy Sparks for MGM. So it was a title that was created by Josh Blaylock, where it's a female demon from hell to Earth, and a mission she must complete with hiding among humans. And it says that she starts finding the gray area between good and bad, and she has to start basically fighting with the difference, with what she should be doing, doing the good and the bad, and what's in the middle, and does she continue on with her mission, which is obviously is a villain type mission, and it's an internal battle, I guess, within her. So the comic debut.
I remember that. I remember that book. When did that book originally come out?
2008.
Yeah. I remember that coming out, and I
keep thinking they were like way off, but I kept thinking that it was re-released under a different publisher or picked up by a different. Like I want to say like Image, but if it has, I couldn't find it. But the name really sounded really familiar. I'm also might be confusing it with not the Image book. The Mirka and Dolfo was doing a book that seemed kind of similar.
Yeah. No, I remember hearing this. Josh Blaylock is one of those guys that I always really liked because he was part of the early G.I. Joe crew at Devil's Due. him and Tim Seeley were the team over there that were just rocking those G.I. Joe books for a long time.
I always
And
pull Devil's Due G.I. Joe books out of the like
Constant-
$5 boxes at conventions.
big time, bro. And so I remember going to Blaylock, getting his autographs at cons back in the day, and he seemed like a really cool dude. And it's nice to see him getting some love on the option scene.
Yeah. So this one, I haven't heard a lot of buzz about it. When did this article come out? I mean, April 7th, right? So I looked on eBay. I saw some sales. There wasn't a whole lot of sales. There was no 9/8s being sold. There was a couple raws at Mercy Sparks number 0 sold like 4 or 5 copies sold between $25 and $25. There is 198 on eBay right now for number 0, and they're asking $600 for it. But it's a black cover.
Oh man, so that's hard to keep good.
Yeah,
condition.
and I'm trepidatious on this. If you're talking about, there's a comic book option, I'm excited to see it. I'm always excited to see comic book adaptations, but I think when it comes to stuff like this, it's going to be like, I don't know much about MGM when it comes to adapting comic book movies.
So McClay, you're probably like the biggest spec one I would say out of the group right now as far as something like this. What are your feels on it?
Oh, I imagine that it'll see a little bump. It depends on
directors, casting, stuff like that.
Yeah, being optioned to me is not a big deal anymore. It really doesn't. It doesn't mean squat anymore because more than half of the books that get quote unquote optioned get stuck in that option hell, and they never come out.
Well, at least you got a screenwriter attached to it.
Yeah.
So if it's option, is it basically like they're picking up and say, okay, hey, we might want to do something with this property in the
future.
They're
just buying the rights to do something if they want. So no one else can.
Yeah. Optioning is just about collecting enough pawns to keep your other players from other opponents from overpowering you. I mean,
and then it's something in the future. If this character really starts to take off, well, then they got the option to be able to make the two movies.
Dating a girl and you don't really want to date her, but you don't really want anyone else to date her too, so you stay with her, but you just don't spend time with her.
See, it's indie sec. Yeah. Big risk equals big reward sometimes, but not always. And McClay is dead spot on with that. Option play sometimes means that play that they're doing is so that nothing happens with it. That's realistic. That's kind of what happens. On the other hand, this sounds like it's really going to be good in a show. I'm looking forward to it. This flew under my radar in 2008. They don't say
whether it's a show or a movie in there. Really.
Didn't they? I thought they said it was going to be streaming.
Yeah, and I know Andy, like you're kind of like, I get a little piece of everything and kind of see how, and then see where it kind of falls. And well, even though you're putting back on your list,
I see this as one step further being option, since they say adapted, and they also have a screenwriter or scribe attached to it. Where's it going to stream? Where's MGM? Like, are they? I don't even know. It's just, I guess, just wherever.
Something needs to help Netflix out. That's all I know.
I mean, this is the exact type of news that I look for as an indie collector and reader to go bin diving at conventions in conventions. I mean, things are going to get picked out real quick when there's news. Flea markets, anything like that, where people are overlooking that box or two at the end that's indies and not Marvel and DC. Because let's be frank about it, indie books get overlooked all too often at everywhere except for like major conventions or even small midtown conventions. Because this is something, if you really want to pick it up on the cheap, dive through those bins. If you enjoy the read, look for it, keep collecting it. But it sounds like it'd be pretty fun.
Yeah. My thing about that with indie books, though, it's great because they always catch a spike when you get news like this, but you never see it last unless no one was talking about Mercy Sparks before this news. I'm about as excited for this being adapted as I'm excited for Charlize Theron making an Aqualad show on damn HBO Max.
But unfortunately, she's just producing it, brother.
Producing is making is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, there's her and 3 other people. But
yeah,
who gives it? No, good for you.
A true spec artist, I guess. This is like you were saying, Andy. Like this is kind of what you look for, because if it's something that's like everyone is specking on, then it's no longer spec. It's like news, and everyone's going after it.
Well, see, this is like indie stuff gets overlooked enough that when you buy on that what did we call it in the past? That's
Whisper.
the ebbs and flows. Like this hits, if you find this in a bin in the next week, you're probably going to find it for $1 or $2. You're going to find it for old pricing that people will honor out of their bins. But what's going to happen is give this another week or two, and if people stumble on high grade copies, it's going to be a wall book at places for $30 or $40 or $20. At that point, this is no longer a buying option, in my opinion. You're beyond that curve, and you're going to wait for the next downturn in the news because you buy low, sell high, so to speak. And this is at that very, very beginning of that uptick. You might have an opportunity to grab some of these cheap if you're interested in doing that. If not, don't buy next week. Don't buy the week after. Wait for it to come back down.
Is
Yeah,
that the
don't chase this book. And in my opinion, when you got in it and you can make a profit, sell it, because I do not see this. It could be the best thing ever, and then I would have no regrets. You know, if you had this and sold it and make a profit, because this is one that's worth missing out on it being the next Walking Dead, so to say. Because I don't hear enough buzz about this book as it is. I do like Josh Blaylock, like you said, McClay. This just my opinion, and
Kinda
agree
like
to disagree. There's other people out there that are probably like super excited for this, and I'm happy for them.
Stillwater? Stillwater was like something that I saw. So I was like, what is
Yeah, that
and it's just like,
see,
what
I would be all about Stillwater being
Still-
adapted, and other people would
Stillwater-
be like, "That's whatever."
That's apples to oranges, though. Stillwater is still a brand new book. This is a book that's been marinating for over a decade, and there's not been much news, like Brian said, or not much hype. Stillwater's still a relatively new book.
But you know, the news comes out, it'll catch. You know, all it takes is a app alert, and people will start thinking, and you'll see a bump.
boop, boop, boop.
So,
App alert.
app
Yep.
alert.
Yeah, unfortunately, the spec crowd is either rabid on this stuff to make a quick payday or rabid on it because of FOMO. That's a quick thing. It's like most of these are not a long-term spec play.
Yep.
Or you
that's
get
no
forced into
disrespect
long-term
to Josh Blaylock, or you know, it could be a fantastic series to read. I didn't read it. It's just the nature of the trends that I've observed.
Off topic, on topic. Are you a fan of FOMO, Brian, or are you not a fan of FOMO?
I've gone through all the stages of FOMO. I've gotten to where now if my spidey sense isn't tingling for whether you know I'm
like, yeah,
some
you got
reason or another.
FOMO.
To each their own. Everyone owns the responsibility of their own collection. So I don't say anything about anyone buying stuff that they want to buy because it's your money. I always say buy what you like. Buy what someone will ask you. I'm like, well, what are you willing to put into it? If you like it that much and it's worth it for you to spend that amount of money, there's no reason not to because it's your collection.
Yeah, for
Me,
sure.
I chase what I chase. I don't chase what I don't want to. And sometimes I have some regrets, but a lot of times I've gotten used to my collection now where it's, hey, I should have bought that. I didn't. The thing is, there's some other book or some other series that you really like that's going to come right around behind it. There's how many books getting released every Wednesday now? I mean, it's just nuts. So you miss some, you win some.
Yeah, I now that I'm a Venom collector, but I've pretty much almost got every book that's out there, and so I'm looking.
That's when you move to cards.
I got the card thing. Yeah,
Stamps, man.
But that's why I got into cards. I was looking for something new to get into. I'm like, cards would be fun. I love football, and this thing's kicking my ass. But and when it comes to comics, I'm kind of like, okay, let me kind of look and see which, I like Silver Surfer, so I'm kind of looking at stuff like that. But I'm looking at doing the crossover because I like Kate. So trying to find the niche of things I like to collect outside of Venom because I've done Venom so hard. Like I said, I have almost every book, but maybe 12 books.
Yeah. Speaking of FOMO and speaking of cards, not to go too far off topic real quick, but McClay, I'm sure you're aware of this also. So Panini Prism just released their first iteration of WWE cards, right?
Yep.
And this speaks to your FOMO thing. Someone paid, what was it, $10,000 for a color burst John Cena Raw card.
Golly, color.
So that's the perfect example of, hey, man, I am super excited for that person that wanted it and bought it. I wish I knew what they did for a living because I'd need to tighten up my resume. I don't know. But me, I was like, I would never spend that much for a card, no matter how much of a John Cena fan I am. But there's people out there that's what they want. And you see that in comics too. You see it all the time, and people get grumpy or upset because they're like, people are spending this much money on books. It's not your damn money. Who
Yeah.
gives a shit?
Yep, exactly.
Well, yeah, the FOMO thing, I don't think it's just like, I don't necessarily see the spending of money. Like, is that kind of like where I credit them? Like, why do you get so rabid over something that it's cool if you come across it, but I don't know, it's like to get real rabid about it. Like
Sometimes it's the same reason why people go to Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I learned this with cards.
Which I don't like Vegas. I'm not a big gambler, man.
I became, I got a gambling habit from
At least in Vegas, I found $5 blackjack tables here in DC, like the MGM casino. It's like minimum $10, $20 tables. I'm like, nope, I'm going to Delaware.
No, it's not worthless. That's for sure. I know that guy's saying.
And like Ultra says, he might have a worth it, but to him, I have plenty of comics that aren't worth shit, but I love them. There's a book coming out tomorrow that I want just because, well, and it's free, but I want to pick up just because of the nostalgia of it. It's like an M&M's book. It's like some type of preview for some M&M's book, but I want to pick it up because those books are fun years down the road, like the Hershey Quick Spider-Man book that you know from the 80s and stuff like that. So it's your collection.
Promo books are cool.
I totally think you've always said that ever since I've watched you. Is like, buy what you like, and I've always adopted that. And I got, even with Venom, I get FOMO on some of the covers, but then I learned like, okay, hey, they're gonna come back around, so it's all good. And just I know Andy, he was saying how he's got to like, he's toning down some things, but like to be patient and wait for. Like I'm super hardcore.
It's always cyclical.
I'm gonna wait to get what I want, the book, the price range that I'm okay paying for that book, and I've gotten books that are right now go for $2,000 for nowhere near that, like under $300, and it's just like, but you just wait and it comes around.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, and what I'm saying also, it also depends on the It's cliche, but they always say know your why, right? Why are you doing it? If you're in it to flip, then what I'm saying makes no sense because you're going to have to do the research and flip those books. Or if you're in it to flip to get the book that you want, that is an investment book, that takes research, but and you're more susceptible to FOMO at that point because you're trying to,
and see, that's the
be
thing,
first to market and stuff like that.
To that point, in these football cards, like I like football cards, I like football, but I'm getting, so I hope I can like make some change, make some quick, cash and have some fun flipping around with it. And since I'm not doing that, since that's not happening, I'm getting upset with it. And I'm messaging Brian, be like, God dang, this thing's son of a bitch, son of rah, rah, rah. And it's like, if I was just because I got these cool football cards, and I got to get all these Falcons and I put those aside. I'm stoked to get the Falcons, but the rest of them I don't give a crap. So why don't I just go collect the Falcon cards and be happy with it?
Yep. That's like me. I mean, I buy baseball, I buy a bunch of Giants cards, and I was super excited. I spent $350 on a pack of Prism Premier League cards, but I was excited about some of the Chelsea players I got. Not enough to be excited for the $350, but
yeah,
win some, you lose some.
That's what I used to do as a kid. I collected nothing but Falcon football cards, and I still to this day love them and I have them all. And I just need to go back to that.
Yeah, but
stop worrying about trying to find autographs and random packs and bullcrap.
Yeah, sports flicks, bro. But
oh my god.
Anyways,
a whole nother show right there, man.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you cry, kind of like onions, kind of like tiny onions. Andy McClay.
I
just tied both of you guys together.
Speaking of FOMO this week, this one's sure to ring some bells, blow some whistles. I don't know. Sandman's Nightmare County appears to debut a grotesque version of Corinthian, if I even said that correctly. A sneak peek at the Sandman universe, Nightmare County #1 appears to debut a new, scarier version, and a new nightmare emerges in the first issue of DC's The Sandman universe. DC has provided CBR with an official preview for Sandman Universe Nightmare Country #1, which is set to hit comic shops this coming Tuesday, April 12th. So today, actually. The comic comes from writer James Tynion, artist I'm not even going to try to pronounce the artist's name. I'm going to butcher it. My apologies. Colorist, same there. And letterer, Simon Boland. Issue 1 also features a nightmare dream sequence from the guest artist, and I'm not going to butcher that one either, unfortunately, and guest colorist Nathan Fairbrain. And this is kind of exciting. So a number of us in the past have talked about Sandman and being fans of Sandman, and now we're seeing James Tinian's adaptation, not an adaptation, but his kind of take and verse into the Sandman universe. I know for one, I've personally read Sandman, that series, a couple of times with friends on the Downright Nerdy podcast and Bored and Annoyed podcast, and also on the Comic Course Modern Men. So I'm actually pretty excited to see this and give this a read. This is going to be one of the first DC books I've picked up in some time, and they are predicting a turnout. So we think I think there's plenty of ratios for this tomorrow or today.
Yeah, cover A is gorgeous. I mean, we can show that when we get into new comic book day picks, but the cover A, I thought for sure. I mean, some people are kind of over that look. I thought for sure it was like an Hedgehog Lee, but it's not. And I'm gonna say something here that probably no one else would agree with me on. I understand James Tynion's great. He writes great stories, but I'm actually excited for this for the artist Lissandro Estherren, because he's the artist that does Redneck, and I love Redneck. Before Donny Cates was Donny Cates, Redneck has been one of those books that's been fun to read. But I'm not a huge Sandman fan. I picked up and read some since we've talked about it more on this show. But I always this seems like a jumping on point for people like me that aren't very versed in the Sandman universe. We got the Netflix show coming up. There's the podcast out there. But James Tynion, this artist, I'm in to pick up cover A tomorrow.
I have come across the Sandman, the older books in different boxes that I've acquired. Never delve into it. The covers look real weird. Their art on them was real.
It's like that. You could tell
Temple Smith type look.
Well, Dave McKean, those aren't drawn. He makes these like 3D photo frames. All those things are actual pieces. They're not drawn. He like puts pieces of a nest in a corner, and it's really weird. And then he'll take a picture of them.
What do they call that? Is that called
impressionism? Sounds like Little Big Planet.
As I was saying, it looks real. It looks live.
Yeah. And you can buy those whole big things that he makes for those. So people have bought them. It's amazing. Sandman is such a cool universe. Everything about Sandman is cool. When it came out, the characters that it introduced us to, the storyline, the art, the covers, Dave McKean covers, Neil Gaiman, everything about Sandman is freaking cool. When you get
wasn't J. Gordon Levitt trying to get this produced?
He was attached to it. Yeah, he was attached to it for the longest time, and he wanted, and he couldn't get it done. So I don't know if he wanted to do a movie and they wanted to do a show, but the bottom line is that you have the show coming out, you also have this coming out, and they're harkening back to another character that came from the Sandman universe. I forget what issue. What's the character called again? Corinthian. I forget what issue Corinthian first appears in, but the coolest thing about this to me is, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but there's an exclusive cover that has the old school trade dress of Sandman, and it looks so good. I'll pull it up real quick here.
Yeah, I was holding out until we got to.
Is that your Tiny Onion, or is that something else?
No, this is just Tinian writing. This isn't the Tiny Onion exclusive. There's nothing on Substack pointing towards this that I've seen, unless I'm just late on the emails. This is just James III writing for DC, which
there's I do like the 1 in 100 Prism variant.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
So this to me is I geeked out over this so much. Look at this cover right here.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That is just so good. It looks like Dave McKean art. It
Can you
looks
pull
like
that up? Or no?
Yeah. It looks like Dave McKean art. Let's see here. There we go.
You said that's a retailer exclusive?
Yeah, this is I forget who it's through. I'm at T-Fall right now.
Damn, that's wild.
But it is a retailer exclusive. There's only a couple retailers doing exclusives for this.
It's so crazy looking.
Yeah, but they're out there, and I just love how it's got the old Sandman trade design. It looks Dave McKean-esque. It's just really, really, really good. So, one of the few exclusives that I'll talk about. This is good enough to be one.
The
So
cool
this
thing
character that Day is debuting, or not debuting, but appears to debut a new, scarier version. Issue 10 of Sandman was the first appearance. Issue 10.
Yep.
The cool thing is that he did. I look at that picture and I was like, oh, they put teeth in the eyes. It would have been cool if they would have put like the eye in the mouth. But no, actually, the way he did it made it even creepier looking because the mouth's still there, dude. Like that would have been like so cliche. The fact that he did it, he left his mouth the same. That's wild.
Reminds me of that crazy Jennifer Lopez movie. What was it called? The Cell?
Oh man, that movie was scary as hell.
Wasn't Kingpin in that? D'Onofrio or whatever?
Yeah, he was so good. He was so good in that. Yeah.
The cinematography on that was awesome.
Oh, beautiful. That movie was gorgeous. Everything about that movie is good.
I like when that dude walked and the walls started moving as he walked, as his cape was, or the thing was attached to his back.
Yeah.
Oh, that was wild.
Yeah, so you guys picking it up? Who's picking it up? Looks like it's consensus.
Yeah, I'm picking it up.
Let us know in the chat. Also, if you're watching on replay, let us know in the comments. Are you guys excited to pick this up? There are some great covers. We'll show them also some more here in a little bit. But McClay, we also have some action figure news.
So one of the coolest things that's ever happened in Star Wars comics and Star Wars in general is a storyline out of a series called Infinities. Now, Star Wars Infinities is basically Star Wars version of What If. Yeah. They have 3 volumes of Infinities. They have one for A New Hope. They have one for Return of the Empire Strikes Back, and they have one for Return of the Jedi. The one for A New Hope is great. The one for Empire Strikes Back is so-so, but the one for Return of the Jedi is amazing. And I hope that at some point in the future here, they decide to harken back to this. And people are starting to get excited again over it because a new 6-inch figure has been announced for the White Force, Welcome Back to the Force Vader from Star Wars Infinities, Return of the Jedi #4. This is a great storyline. If you want to go to the next picture there, Andy, where it shows the box on the back. See, if you look at that picture right there, that image is straight from the comic. Basically what happens is Luke is able to save Anakin in the Death Star, and he carries him out, and Anakin decides to go back to the Force, and he changes his suit from black to white, and it is just such a cool idea. Really cool looking figure. They actually did this figure as a 3 3/4 inch figure for the comic packs back in the day. I'll show you guys what it looks like here. This is how it looked back in the day. This comic pack was the only way to get this figure. I have this figure sitting down in a little display just because it's so cool, but it's super hard to find this nowadays. It sells for a pretty penny, but the Black Series figures are way better. If you want to bring that up again, Andy, just really, really good looking. It's just such a cool, the box, everything about this. So Star Wars fans are kind of excited because they have something that they definitely want, and hopefully this will maybe get people more excited about Infinities, and we might be able to see an Infinities series. They did Elseworlds in DC back in the day, and they created universes for Elseworlds things.
Yeah, look at freaking Sean Gordon Murphy.
Yep. Exactly, same type of thing. So let's do a Star Wars Infinities Jedi storyline where we have Anakin as a good, back to the Force, and I want to see where that story goes. So yeah, but this can be bought right now over at Entertainment Earth. Is that what it is?
Hasbro Pulse.
Hasbro
has it. Entertainment Earth, I think, does too.
I bet you Big Bad Toy Store has pre-order.
Yeah, it doesn't come out till April of 23, I believe.
Oof.
Yeah.
But there's already people It's $27 on I know Hasbro site, but if you go to like Amazon or there's people already trying to sell it for like 50, $60.
Yeah. Let me look for that G.I. Joe book real quick.
So, you're right, McClay. You hope that this kind of gets people a little excited. You're getting me a little bit excited about this, Giggity. Simply,
6 inches.
well, the fact that the Elseworlds kind of stuff, or not Elseworld, the stuff outside of standard Star Wars canon, I kind of steered clear from a long time as I continue to try to harness what is Star Wars canon, and I can never get a full 100% grasp on it, so I never get to explore outside of that much, or I never let myself. This has woken me up, and your description of that story is like, I am missing out, and I need to not be missing out, and I need to check this out, because Darth Vader's been one of the coolest characters to read in modern Star Wars comics in the last couple of years. Pax done an amazing job with that run. Gillen did an amazing run in 15. That's where we get the first appearance of Dr. Aphra, and then Soul did that amazing 2017 run. So in the last decade, we've had some stellar Darth Vader reads, and I feel like this is just going to add that icing on top of that cake, so to speak. So I'm really excited to go seek these out. In fact, I think my LCS has all 3 of them in packs, and like just where they put them all together in a like a magazine bag and tape it shut and put like a $10 price tag on it. I think all 3 of them are sitting there. I probably should grab those tomorrow.
Which all 3 of what are sitting there?
The Return of the Jedi, New Hope, and Empire Strikes Back.
Nice.
I think they have all of those.
Yeah, nice. Definitely check it out. It's good stuff.
I'm gonna have to skip work.
Yeah, I've spent plenty of money on Hasbro Pulse, and the thing is, like, I pre-order it and I forget about it, and it's like a year later, it's like, oh, something shipped. Not as bad as Super 7 though. I ordered some action figures from Super 7 like 2 years ago, and I just got them.
So We Are Venom. Let me he's been asking me for this for a while, and I finally went and found it. So let me go ahead and tell him what he's been looking for. This is the G.I. Joe variant he's been looking for a while, and I apologize. I said I was gonna find it for him on the Hot 10 last week, but I wasn't able to. It is G.I. Joe number 15 from IDW. It's the Tommy Lee Edwards variant. I believe that's it, right? Yeah. So appreciate you waiting for so long. Sorry about that.
Damn, that's a gorgeous cover.
Yeah.
That's stuff that I'd look at, like graham crackers and G-Mart and
Yep. Yeah, that stuff's amazing.
G-Mart.
Remember your past.
There
remember your login.
There's the 6-inch. God, this isn't gonna get better. There's a 6-inch Darth Vader redeemed comic, the Black Series, $28.99 on the Big Bad Toy Store for a pre-order. That's cool. The same one, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Where's the picture? There it is. There's the box.
I'm gonna wait till later.
Do it now.
So I'm just looking at these figures, and I was hearing about the Thor Love and Thunder movie that's coming out, and they're starting to have some of these figures come out before the trailer came out, and they have a figure that came out that's Gore the God Butcher, and it looks like a freaking old man with a crutch or something, dude.
It looks like Bill and Ted Adventures Death.
Yeah,
it does. You hit it on the head. I was trying to figure who it was, and that's exactly who it is.
I was thinking that old 80s movie, Sword and the Sorcerer.
There's no way, dude, that's what they're doing. There's no way.
They'll cover him up with the cloak.
If they're not doing the Gore that we like, the tendrils and everything about Gore, the way he looked, he doesn't have a nose and
all put together.
Yes,
especially if they could do the guy on Pirates of the Caribbean with all the tentacles.
Yeah.
So it's obvious they could do this. You could kind of cut off some of the dude's tentacle or time together or something. But so my thing is, I was like, there's no way in heck that they're gonna be like, oh, this is the Gore that we're gonna put out. And I'm thinking that must be like they're probably gonna have 2 versions. They probably have another version that comes out. It's the actual with all the tendrils after he gets like the Necro Sword where he finds. That's probably like the pre-version, and then they're gonna say like, there's no way they're going to do that.
Well, I'll tell you what, they shouldn't do that character at all. They shouldn't do that version of Gore at all. It should always be the Gore from the way that Gore looks in the comics. He's a perfect character.
I'm flabbergasted. Like I haven't read that much other stuff outside of like the Venom stuff. I read that run of Thor. That is the freaking amazing. If you haven't read 1 through 12 of
Thor, God of Thunder,
God of Thunder, yeah, go do yourself a favor and go read that. It is a great read, and I will be so upset if they mess that up. I don't think I've ever been so passionate about anything that they've done as far as Marvel until that. And I saw that and I was like, there's no way they're going to do that. That would be, I don't know. Sorry. But anyway, I saw those figures and I've been thinking about that. I was going to be on my one more thing, but.
Crazy.
Before we get to one more thing, tomorrow's New Comic Book Day.
Yes, it is.
What are you guys picking up tomorrow? McClay. I'm going to go with Andy first. We always go with McClay.
Yeah.
Oof.
Reverse.
You guys know I pretty much pick up everything in Star Wars, as I'm enjoying reading a lot of that, having a pretty decent reading pile for Star Wars. But I'm going to pick 2. Oh my God, Blast from the Past. Farmhand is back. What is this? A year and a half break? I don't know. It's been so long. I can't even remember. I'm excited to get back into the world of Farmhand. This has been a fun read, and I'm going to have to reread the first 15 to figure out what the hell happened. Because
he's been doing some Chew homages for this too. I don't know if they're the actual covers but his Facebook page. There you go. Yeah, the one on the right. You got a little Chew homage.
Yeah. Oh, yes, please. I don't know if we'll find it tomorrow.
Also, one of the coolest and nicest guys in comics with Rob Gilroy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll be looking forward to reading that tomorrow. I'm trying to get caught back up so that I can read that. But what's coming back, or not coming back, which is coming to a close, actually, if I can find it fast enough, is Last Flight Out. This is the last issue for Guggenheim here. And I'm really curious to see how they're going to cram it right in the cram hole, right at the tail end, and fit everything.
A lot of pacing.
There's a lot to jam in here based on they took a little sidestep in this trip that I wasn't expecting at the end of issue 4 or beginning of 5 or something like that. I'm like, they got a lot of ground to catch up to finish this story. I'm hoping it finishes strong. It's been a really fun read. I almost wish they would have went to like a maxi series, like a 12-issue deal, but
maybe we'll get a volume 2.
Maybe.
Better hope so.
That's my 2. That's my 2. Where you guys are already going to pick and pull and check out a lot of the stuff. By the way, Brian, if you pull up the screen, don't click on any of the Betty Page stuff or enlarge any of that. I'll just say that. That's adult content warning when we click on Betty Page stuff as I was scrolling through that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, big time. Like pretty much half those covers are going to be covered up on the shelf for the new comic book shop days. Or wow. You know what I mean?
I'm doing a quick look at Red Sonja to see if there's any bad ones in Red Sonja too. But yeah, okay. I can go next if you want.
Sure.
All right. Miles Morales, Spider-Man, number 37.
Yes.
Let me share my screen here. Yeah, I'll share it.
Kyle New cover's freaking fantastic.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, man. It is so good. It's one of the best. One of the best covers I've seen in a long time with this new suit, I guess, that Miles is wearing.
Does he got wings on him?
No, those are things following and shooting him.
Oh.
Like a machine. But yeah, this is badass. And it's just a open order B cover, I think. Right?
Really?
So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, if this was a 1 in 25, it would be next level spec value, right? Yep. This thing would be already $100 book easy.
Well, there's talk about this being the volley into, I don't know the phrasing, multiverse, so there's potential that we could see a new character. I don't know if there's any truth to that though.
Well, Billy is going to be in 38. We know that, right?
Do we?
Yeah. So 38 is the one a lot of people are specking on. This was another interesting one. Evil Ernie, issue 5.
There's another good cover for that one as well.
Is there? Yeah. The Arthur Sidum, you guys know I love-hate relationship with this dude. And, man, he just keeps putting out cool covers. So kind of interesting. There's like a bat, almost a bat symbol there from Batman. Look at that.
It's just it's Alluding.
Yeah.
Alluding.
But yeah, that's issue number 5, and of course, Evil Ernie number 2 was one of the best covers in a long time that he did also. So
Yeah.
be on the
Oh,
lookout
wow.
for that one too. Yeah,
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
Man.
remember that kid tried to sue for the kid from the Nirvana?
yeah, what a moron.
What's that about?
Evil Ernie, you've never heard
Yeah.
of Evil Ernie? It's like a demon type thing. It's where Lady Death was created.
It's like Howie Mandel from Little Monsters.
That was such a good movie.
Little
I
Monsters.
remember that movie. Yeah, that movie was creepy as hell, man.
That
So,
Carrier's
yeah,
cover.
those are mine. That's my few.
Yeah. Where are you getting tomorrow, Ryan?
Venom.
So there's a second print that's coming out first off, and I've been really grabbing these second prints up because there's not many places that have been getting them, to be honest with you. And then they have the number 7 coming out. There's a couple of cool covers that one there right there is pretty legit.
Wow.
The cover is a little more legit than the story's been.
Yeah, I heard the story hasn't
Who's
been
right?
good
Is
on
that
this.
Al Ewing writing it?
Yeah,
No, Ram V, right?
Ram V.
That's I love Ram V, but I haven't been reading this book.
You haven't?
Mm-mm.
It's been tough.
Man, that's terrible Delato right there. That is not good
That's
Delato.
you know what that is? Remember the
Yes.
Sad Lemon variant?
Uh-huh.
That's like a splash some paint over my Sad Lemon.
Yes.
Well, I think
Yes.
Delgado, at least it's not the same. At least he's not hanging off a side of a church, because that's about all. The only thing he's been doing is just putting all these guys on the side of a church or on the top of a roof of a church or something. It seems like most of the covers seem like they look a lot of the same.
That
And-
cover looks like crap that'll be put on a trading card and be worth like $200.
Oh, what is that one? That must be the 1 in 25, maybe. Can you tell if it's a 1 in 25?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
If you hover over it, it'll tell you if it's a ratio variant or if it's there you go, main cover, wood spider, something Delato, the little black box that pops up.
So what does it say for this one? Magno variant is what it says.
Magno variant. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's not
Carlos Magno.
And then there is a second print coming out too tomorrow for number 5. So that will be, man, I hope this thing starts taking off. I really do, because it's been tough to read kind of till this point. Numero 5. Not those. I don't know what those. That's like some. Oh, it's on right there.
Right there.
The mouth. Yeah.
That's interesting.
What the hell? Look, it reminds me of the Tyler Kirkham.
Uh-huh.
That's off a panel. That's a panel from inside the story.
Yeah.
You're a panel.
You're a story.
You're
All right.
something. Panel story.
What are you going for, Brian?
I had Miles Morales was my big one. 7 Secrets, number 16. That's my pickup, go-to read. Love Tom Taylor's writing on that book. I believe it's getting ready to come to an end here soon, but continue to pick those up. I pick up the floppies. I've been picking up the trades between 7 Secrets and Once and Future, are 2 series that I just don't think get the love that they should.
Yeah.
But and then if you're an omnibus fan, Moon Knight is so big right now. There's a David Finch and a Bill Sienkiewicz two different omnibus. Moon Knight omnibus coming out tomorrow. Omnibuy, is that what you call it? Just more than-
I imagine. We'll need to ask Jim Mint.
Yeah.
Hey, McClay, go to Star Wars 22 really quick. There's another Sprouse variant coming out that I thought looked really good.
Well,
And I'm
that's
curious-
not even the best cover of Star Wars 22.
No, it's not, but the Sprouse variants have been getting more and more attention recently.
This one right here, the Raza variant, is the cover.
That one's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's like Fabio. Forgot
It's
to say.
amazing, dude. That is awesome.
But if you look at the Sprouse variant, I don't know how many comic book covers are out there with Rey and Kylo.
This is the last Sprouse 50th variant, too.
Is it really?
Yeah. He's going to be going to doing the 1 in 25s or the 1 in 50s, one of the two.
So I don't know how many they've been doing. A lot of combos in here that were like first or not. There, it's not often that you get like Ahsoka and Anakin, and then Rey and Kylo Ren. You don't get them on covers like this very often. It seems like.
Majority of these Sprouse variants I like is about as much as I like the Mike McCone headshot variants.
I agree. I don't like the Sprouse variants.
I just think, I don't know. Some of them I like the nostalgia value. The one that got hot was cool, but I didn't buy any.
Burned your hands.
Oh man, what a bummer of a variant this is.
Yeah.
Dude, that's freaking.
I wonder if this is like this is John Tyler Christopher right here.
Yeah, that's going after completionist right there.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
like just throw some dude on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a bunch of sound effects for it. It'd be hilarious.
I think that might be John Tyler Christopher.
Looks like it because he does all
Or
the
somebody. I bet that would be a perfect thing to do, is to put your face on, or put somebody's face on this, like as a tribute.
Hint, hint. That's the first Comic Man Andy cover appearance minus the beard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's gonna be some completionists out there. It's like I got all of them except for Rebel Commando.
Yeah.
That damn Rebel Commando.
But
So yeah.
the only other one I had, Black Caravan's been doing some great horror books, Scout Comics. They got Vanity #1s coming out tomorrow. That kind of like Mercy Sparks. You got a little devil demon, but it's kind of like, it seems like it's Memento style where you start at the end and then it tells the story. And of course, there's a cover A that's negative space, and then there's a 1 in 10 for it.
Oh, I can't take risks. God damn it.
Yeah. Can you pronounce that for me, Andy? I don't know what that says. What's that name?
What is this? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Awesome salad? But
I'm a
How do you pronounce that, Andy?
I'm a child.
I don't get it. What is it?
yeah, maturity is not
Yeah.
a prerequisite for this show.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our new comic book day picks for tomorrow. Let us know what you guys are picking up. Sorry, I gotta unhide. We are Venoms. That's just gonna leave us with one more thing. Oh, Beardo.
Oh, my one more thing. Talk about maturity level and getting spicy and getting crazy. This past Monday, we had another edition of Comic Shipping Crimes over on Modern Comic Monday, and we got real. And we're not very happy, and we're concerned that many other people in the community are also kind of getting shammed. So check your invoices. Check your packages and check the invoices in the package. Make sure that when you get charged X number of dollars for shipping on your card, that you're getting that shipping that you paid for on the invoice when you receive your package, because I feel like there's some companies out there that are promising expedited services and charging for expedited services while giving you ground services or cheaper services on your invoice. So check your invoices when you get your books, and if the companies that are selling the books aren't sending you invoices, call them.
Yeah,
have them make it right, because
if you want to see Andy without a Snickers, go over to Comic Man Andy and watch that video.
Last night, live 8 p.m. every Monday night over on the Comic Man Andy Comic Cave and Comic Dojo YouTube channel, and we got real.
McClay, what do you got?
I am almost at 600 subscribers right now on the channel. If you guys get a chance and aren't subscribed, go hit up the new channel, The Amazing, with Brian McClay. Still fighting on that, or thinking about that name. I don't know whether I like it or not, but until I think of a new one, that's what it's going to be. So go check it out. 4 subscribers short of 600. But yeah, go check it out.
What you got for us, Ryan?
Well, we're going to start a new segment next week called R or Triple R, which is Rhino's Random Ramblings. And just going to be a little, basically a random idea or two. And I'm really looking for some participation from those watching. And since I'm from I was the special guest from the community. I want to hear a couple ideas from the community of some things that you wanted to talk about in the show. We always come up with a set of ideas or a set of topics to talk about, but we're looking for some ideas maybe from those in the community. So message this page or this show.
Yeah, just comment on the video.
Yeah, comment on the video.
Not in the live chat, on the actual video.
Yeah, and just say something you wouldn't mind. You want to have part of R, just triple R, or Rhino's Random Ramblings. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a topic or two, and we'll discuss it as a panel. And the panel won't know what we're discussing, so it'll be kind of sprung on everyone. And so we get some real life kind of instant before we have the show, we get to kind of read stuff and look at some of the topics before we get on the show. But it'll be off the cuff. And if we have some slow participation on it, I already have some ideas, like stuff like the action figure thing, that we talked about with Gore the God Butcher, So it'll be a little segment about that. It'll start next week called Rhino's Random Ramblings. Looking for community involvement, so comment on the video, and we'll pick a couple of the topics, and we'll evolve it as it goes forward.
Hell yeah! So yeah, make sure you comment, and we'll let Ryan pick a topic at random, and we'll make sure the person that posted that topic gets the credit for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be fun.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
It's like Ryan leaving his toothbrush at our house.
I had to find a way to get my.
So he has to come back. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Now I'm like kind of permanently. I've secretly permanently made myself a permanent part of this community, this show.
No, I love it. I'm just giving you shit. But so yeah, we're gonna start a new segment with that. We'll probably do 3 topics and then the R. My one more thing. Also, huge shout out. We lost a great comedian today in Gilbert Gottfried. Huge star of the 80s. I've been in a bunch of stuff. I always remember him from Beverly Hills Cop and a bunch of 80s movies, but he passed away today. And Dwayne Haskins,
that was sad.
Washington Redskins or Commanders. That was pretty tragic as well. And that's all I got, man.
You know how that happened? Like what they figured out, he was in a rental car.
Yeah, you're talking about Dwayne?
Yeah.
Yeah, the details keep changing. I guess he walked across the interstate now, and there was a drunk girl in his car, but I don't know. I don't know all the details.
He already ran out of gas in a rental car, took off, and the dump truck driver couldn't stop quick enough, and I don't know, man. So it's gnarly.
Yeah.
What happened to Godfrey? They just found him. He was passed. I didn't hear about you.
Yeah, hit by a dump truck.
Godfrey?
Oh no, I didn't read all the details.
No, Haskins got hit by a dump truck. Yeah.
So, plus half those things, you never really. I don't know.
You never know what's going on.
Gone too soon. I mean, even though he was 67, but
he had some type of ailment. They haven't really said what it is yet.
It's been a tough year for comedians, bro.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of comedians passing.
The world's trying to beat the sadness down one way or another, but we won't let it go down. We'll keep it funny.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was went to my kid's 5th grade in February. At the end of February, they had us all the parents come in, and each kid picked, for Black History Month, a celebrity or activist or person from history. And, there's a lot of people from history, but there was some comedians. There was some like Kevin Hart's and stuff like that. And the vice principal was there. I was like, did anyone pick like Richard Pryor or Red Fox? Because those are the people I want to talk to. Classic comedians right there. But either way, the last thing I will leave you with is Premier League, huge Premier League fan. Chelsea got knocked out of the Champions League by Real Madrid today. They fought back, came close, but they are moving on without Chelsea. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the regulars we have in the chat. If you're in the chat, put those comments you want us to talk about in the comment of this video. If you're watching this on replay, put it in the comments. If you're listening to the audio podcast, go over there to YouTube, throw us a comment of a topic you want us to discuss, and we will have Ryan pick one, and it'll be live action.
And the hearts out to those in New York too. I just saw brother at the
Yeah,
subway.
craziness, Brooklyn.
Ours.
Yeah.
This is noisy.
That being said, guys, Brown Simmons Comics. We will see you guys next week.
Look. They talking like they don't know a king when they see one. See him in person, he take it back like a refund. Ballin' with my brothers, all my playing D1. Daily checking chicken, he gon' spin it watching reruns. Say they real, but they clones of me. How my cousin...
Hey, Ryan, what do you think a pirate's favorite letter of the alphabet is?
R.
You think it'd be R, but it really be the C.
Oh.